Hi Zendan, welcome to my 1000 square foot Mumbai home. Come on in. Hi, this is Sahiba. This is my home. I live here with my husband, my 6-month-old son Ved, and my 5-year-old dog Zoey. I'm an architect. I run a creative practice called Insitu, which means crafted in place. I run a parallel brand called Kalakaar Haath, which is a home decor and furnishing store. So I'm sitting in our living room. This is where we entertain. So one of the centerpieces of the living room is this kind of nested table. My love for curios has left no room for us to actually keep anything more than a coffee cup over here. But we clear it out when we really host. So my house is an experiment of all the things that you see in our product catalog at Kalakaar Haath and Insitu sometimes. Exhibit A. This is a wall art that we do retail, but it was an experiment with layers of embroidery that we were trying out at that time. It looked pretty good, so I hung it up on the wall, which is now I think one of the biggest artworks in our living room. Plants are a great way to bring some kind of color or freshness to your space. A lot of people shy away from big plants in small spaces, and I think that's the contrary of how they actually impact the space. I have giant plants in the middle of seating, and I feel like it just adds that little bit of drama, and it really kind of brings the space together. The other thing that I feel people are afraid of with plants is the idea of maintaining them. Ask me, I think killed a few plants in my journey of bringing them to this number. But what helped me was to start with plants that are easy to maintain. The Dracaena over here is a super sturdy plant. It works indoors. It kind of flourishes in this amount of light, which is pretty much present in any kind of home. Along with that, there are a whole bunch of plants that work well. The pothos, which is commonly known as the money plant, also is a great example for a plant to kind of start off with. So this is the dining area. It's connected to the living space. And to create more room in the overall kind of layout, we added a bench, which was kind of hugging the wall. What it did was give us a little bit more room to kind of walk around. I remember we were at a deadlock. We were just not able to, pin down the design that we imagined for our dining space. We were on our trip in Bali, and we just kept thinking. And we were sitting in this cafe, I remember. It was a really sweet little cafe. And both of us somehow just looked at the leg of the table at the cafe, and we were like, hey, this is really like an interesting looking piece. How about we use this as the centerpiece for our dining table, and then have the top on it. And because both of us kind of loved it so much, which is a very rare moment when you're building a home with your partner or anybody else, we said that there was no other way to kind of design this table. So you see it in the center. It's almost like this big kind of column, and the tabletop kind of rests on it. This swing is, I think, a true celebration of everything that I believe in or stand for in terms of design. I remember in my parents' home, we transitioned from one of those macrame, single-seaters to like one of the larger kind of Jaipuri swings, which my mum had, me go with her to this wood carving workshop, and then really show him the design, and then have it hand painted and whatnot, right? So when we decided to design our home, I said that this has to be a part of it, and we designed the entire carving as an illustration of one of these pitchwise forests. So if you come up and see, you will find little monkeys and a deer and like all of this, like banana trees and all this kind of foliage. The location is quite lovely as well, because it's the wall we knocked off to join our den space to the living room. So I'm sitting in literally my most favorite space in the house. So the couch is from West Elm. I absolutely love all of their sofas. Some of them have that lovely sink-in kind of feel, very much like this one. It's white in color, and this was a conscious decision because I love white. I think mainly because I see so much color every day in spaces, in my work. So I wanted my house to be majority white. What it also helped us do was complement really beautifully with the color pop that is in the wallpaper behind me. This wallpaper is one of my favorites. It's got all like tiny details. It's got peacocks. It's got like bursts of color. And I collect cushions from all the brands I love. There's Sahiba, there's Neela, there's Kalakaar Haath. There's so this becomes that one couch where I can stage whatever mood I'm in. I kind of stage up my cushions over here. So this is where the large 70-inch TV used to be, which is now replaced by these beautiful botanical prints. So this unit was completely custom made. I think a lot of things in this house have come out of my need to experiment with materials and craft. We tried to kind of camouflage deep drawers and smaller drawers. These hold stationery, which are smaller, and then also sometimes laundry. These two drawers belong to Zoey. All of us have somehow fitted into this, but we have a space for everything. So we were working in a compact layout, and it's always nice to tie spaces together in an interesting way. I think the bar does that. It's like an L-shaped counter that ties the entertainment room, the den room, to the living space. It also doubles up as a great serving counter when we're hosting a dinner, to just line up all the dishes so people can kind of eat it buffet style. Small story about this wine rack is when I was designing the space, we originally designed it with only these little wood crosses that you see here and these MS rods. And after they were installed and we moved in, I looked to put bottles of wine in it, and it completely fell through. I actually lost a couple of bottles in that process. And then we came up with the idea of adding these little triangles that made each of these kind of squares into two spaces. So one kind of compartment held two bottles, and we were able to accommodate a good kind of collection of wine here. But I think a lot of design is about improvisation. It's about thinking on your feet, and I think situations like this really push you to do that. And this cabinet over here holds some of our current favorites in alcohol. It has a pull-out trolley that we kind of use to serve people, sometimes just pull where we are to kind of make a quick drink. I think storage space is most precious in Bombay homes. This little cabinet is one corner that we just didn't want to go waste. It keeps all of our medicines, our candles, the little knickknacks you just don't find place for. It holds all of it very, very safely. This is my son's room. I've been 6 months into becoming a mother. This is my first kid. So this used to be a guest bedroom, which we converted into his nursery. So the cupboards kind of remained, and we didn't want to touch them. We wanted them to remain in the wood kind of texture that is there, because it adds a lot of warmth to the space. We tied it in with this kind of terracotta flooring. This becomes a great space for him to just enjoy his playtime. The other thing we kind of incorporated into the space, because it is fairly compact, was the Murphy bed. So this fitting actually comes with a sofa that you can attach to the Murphy bed. So the sofa automatically collapses as you pull the bed along. I think the biggest kind of design element, and it had to be, was the wallpaper. We tried to just do one thing that would really tie the entire space together. My amazing team at Kalakaar Haath has put together so much love into every little detail that you see here. So here we are in the master bedroom. I think spatially we tried to keep it as minimal as possible. It's our little space of solitude. We come here to literally sleep and maybe catch up on some TV time. The wallpaper, it's one of my most favorite ones from a recent collection that we've launched. I think when you are in the creative field, your house becomes like a good canvas to like try out a lot of things, and I think I've really used this space to experiment with things. Quick pro tip for all of you living in Bombay or in other compact homes. I think what really worked for us to make the space look spacious was to keep the overall palette very neutral, almost like, an ecru white color. It's my personal favorite color, and you will look at it in different parts of the house, but it helped in tying together like an expanse. Through our travels, we're always collecting little tidbits, sometimes pieces of art, sometimes, just curios, sometimes books. And they always find corners in different parts of my house. What you see around here is, these hand-painted wall plates and masks. It's by an artist in a small village, and he's the last descendant of his craft. And he's really striving to keep the craft alive. And I was able to kind of, reach him and get access to all of these pieces. We have also used these in a few projects. So after we got married, we took a little trip to Bali. It was our first trip together as a couple. And, I noticed that all of the transitional spaces, it kind of was demarcated with these sort of gate-like structures. For some reason, I could only think about them as being handles to our main door. In some way, it kind of signifies our entrance into a new life, into a new journey together. I think the home is an idea of comfort, and I think comfort comes from a sense of familiarity or nostalgia. When we build spaces, we lend so much time to referencing and going outwards and looking at things that inspire us. Very often, it actually is, introspection that helps you come to a design or a solution that, you feel like is timeless. It's something that you would relate to. So anybody who is designing a space, I would really encourage you to look inwards, look at things that you've always loved, you've grown up with, and, believe in those elements to really bring your space together. Trust me, you're going to love them for a really long time. Spaces should be designed with a sense of timelessness. They really should be able to absorb all the different phases of your life, and I think this home has really, touch wood, done that for us. I'm so thankful for having the space and its ability to just be so malleable to accommodate all of our requirements, our transitions, our additions in our family in such a beautiful way. Thank you, Zenden. I hope you enjoyed our home tour.